All right, so I'm here with Marina. Marina, how old are you?
I am 39.
39. And are you originally from Phoenix?
No, I'm from the East Coast, Jersey.
From the East Coast?
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been out here in Phoenix?
Totaling about 6 years.
6 years?
Mm-hmm.
And are you homeless right now?
I am.
How did you end up homeless?
My story's a little different than other people's. It started when I was actually just getting a rental house for about 30 days. I was just about to close on my first house. I was about to buy my first house, and something went wrong in the house that I was staying in. The occupants, as well as the owner, no longer wanted me there, even though I had already paid to stay. And they kind of banded together against me and held me hostage at gunpoint. When the cops came, I was still in handcuffs with a gun pointed at me. They didn't do anything. They didn't arrest anyone. Since they couldn't get me out that way, they put a protective order against me. That started my homelessness, 10 days. Takes 2 seconds to put a protective order against someone, 10 days to remove it. I got it removed, but I lost everything I owned. I couldn't go back to the house. I had no more money. It was gone, all of it. My credit tanked. I lost my job. So everything just went downhill. I got my job back, but then COVID happened, and my company went under. So I just never recovered.
So how long have you been homeless?
A little over a year.
Over a year?
A little over a year, yeah. Unemployment's just getting in my case now, and since I can't seem to keep a phone in my hand, I haven't been able to keep up with it. So, because out here, the homeless, they're very... It's like the wild, wild west, sort of. They just steal from you all the time. They take everything and anything. I've just recently been robbed 12 times in the last 3 weeks. And it seems like every time I got up just a little bit, they were right there to take it away. So it's hard. It's very hard.
What kind of work were you doing before you ended up homeless?
I cleaned houses. I actually enjoyed it a lot. So.
And do you have any substance abuse problems?
Substance abuse problems, I do a little bit of stuff here and there, because out here, just the only thing you have to look forward to at the end of the day after you've been hustling or trying to figure out some way to make money, is some kind of a substance that's going to take your mind off of it. So the occasional bowl of clear or occasional blue is going to be your kind of your saving grace. But I'm not hooked on anything. Let's put it that way. I can walk away from it.
Is this area really heavy with blues out here?
Yes, absolutely.
What area are we in right now?
This area right here is Thunderbird Road. Right here you have Thunderbird Road, and from Thunderbird Road, Greenway, you've got Bell Road, Peoria, Cactus. All those roads are covered, just dripping with blues. And the more dealers that pop up with blues, the more that you've got them flooding the streets. The problem with the blues is not so much that they are bad for you, it is the fact that you've got these amateurs who are making them in their backyards. Now, they don't know how much fentanyl to put in them. So because of that, people are dying. The only thing I can advise is if you are making them, stop. Stop making them, because you don't know what you're doing. You're hurting people out here. The ones that are coming over are from chemists who know what they're doing. I'm not saying the drug is good. I'm not saying that at all. But it's not originally killing anyone. But the ones that are being made here are. And that's because nobody knows what amount of fentanyl put in there, and the fentanyl is causing people to OD and die. That's where that problem is happening. That's where this epidemic is stemming from, and why the government is now putting out notices about fentanyl, because it's killing people.
Have you ever overdosed on it?
I've never OD'd on anything.
Have you ever seen anyone overdose on it?
I watched my friend Rabbit die right in front of me. It was the first time I'd ever seen a human being die, and watched the life go out of somebody's eyes. And it scared the shit out of me. It really did. Because he was one of my best friends.
Was that his first time trying it, or was
No,
he hooked on it?
He was hooked on it. He was hooked on that and G. He had done a shot that day. A mix of G and blues. And it was his first time trying it. I don't recommend putting it in a needle. I don't use needles myself because I just don't like them. But if you're going to use needles, you need to be safe about it.
So what do you do out here to survive?
I do a little bit of everything. I dumpster dive, I hustle. If I find something that's worth money, I sell it to other people. And occasionally, if things are desperate enough, I do play the role of working girl.
Okay. And how much do you usually do or make a day? Like,
On average, I
doing
try to
all
make
this
at
stuff?
least $100 a day. That's because you want to make enough money to have food. You want to have enough money to cover any kind of drugs or anything you have for the evening. If you need clothes or shoes or anything else that you have to buy, you're going to need all that. So, and every day you need something because you don't know if you're going to get robbed that day. You don't know if you're going to lose everything that day. So that money is extremely important.
so did you start doing the dates when you ended up homeless, or before that? Were you already doing that before that?
I was homeless over a year before I started doing dates.
Okay.
I actually avoided doing it completely. I cried for 2 hours after my first date because it was not something I ever saw myself doing, something that I completely avoided. But when you've been robbed and you've got nothing, you've got no way to eat, no nothing. It's one of the quickest ways to get money is to do that. And it's horrible for a girl out here, it really is, because a girl who's even somewhat good looking, you have to perform in order to get something, If you're ugly, they'll take pity on you and just give it to you. But if you're somewhat pretty, they expect something. It's always going to be that way.
Do you have like random guys and creeps just pulling up to you all the time?
All the time. All the time. And you have to be selective. You have to learn to know which ones are worth it and which ones aren't. It's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous to do what I do.
Have you ever been through some danger where you thought you were going to lose your life?
I did. Once so far. Thank God it's only been once, but 2 men grabbed me. They dosed me with something. I don't remember anything that happened, thank God. I don't. But I did wake up in a hotel room with a man I didn't know. He told me that he found me outside of his door on the ground. He didn't want me to get hurt, so he brought me inside. But I knew it wasn't him who had anything to do with it because he was white. There were 2 men who grabbed me were black. But they stole everything I had. Most likely did more, but I don't remember any of it. So
you say you come from the East Coast. Do you have any family out here?
No.
In Arizona?
No friends, no family. I'm alone.
All your family?
East Coast.
And do they know about your current situation?
No.
No?
No.
Why don't you reach out to them?
Because when it comes to my family, there's just a line. There's not anything they'll do about it. I've learned that a long time ago. So I just keep it to myself.
Where do you sleep at night?
Anywhere, everywhere. You try to find a place that the cops won't find you, because everywhere is off limits. Everywhere. Bus stops used to be okay, but now they've made those off limits too. Trespassing and private property. It's all, everywhere you see is either private property or some kind of trespassing on, state grounds. So you kind of got to be very careful where you lay your head, because most likely you'll be waking up to flashlights in your face and a couple of cops telling you need to either leave or here's a couple of handcuffs, you got to be real careful.
How do the cops treat you out here?
They are not very nice to homeless. They see us as an eyesore, a problem. And I can't say that they're off by that, because a lot of the time the homeless are very messy, they're rude, and they're mean, and they don't exactly, the streets make you hard though, I can't blame them either. I can see both sides, I can see their side, I can see on my side. The homeless that are on my side, I can see both sides. Over time you just become really cold. I've tried very hard to maintain some level of emotion out here, because it takes a piece of you. It takes a piece of you every single day. And eventually you either give up and kill yourself, or you just become this cold-hearted bitch, excuse my language, but, that doesn't care about anyone and just takes what she wants. Or him, whoever it is. It's just something that happens to you.
So what is one of the most important things that you've learned being out here homeless?
One of the biggest things I learned when I first became homeless was my judgments. I had a lot of judgments towards the homeless that I didn't know I still had. When I became homeless, I realized that I judged everybody the same. you're homeless because of A, B, and C, period. But I've been out here, the majority of the stories that I have heard have nothing to do with alcohol, drugs, or any kind of substance abuse at all. In fact, most of the time, people don't even touch a drug until they come out here. Until they're like, just this whole overwhelming environment just takes them away, and they know they've got to do something just to center, just to have, like I said, at the end of the day. So then that's when they pick up the drug. But beforehand, it's something simple as, I just lost my house, or I lost my job, or, you know, I had this happen to me where I got a divorce and now I've got child custody issues. There are so many stories out here that have nothing to do with what people perceive or think that people are homeless from, you know, and COVID took a lot of people and threw them onto the streets too. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big, huge part of it, is a big group of people is just COVID. COVID did this to me. COVID did this to me. And, you know, it's not that they wanted to be out here. We don't wake up every day thinking, oh God, we want to be homeless. But one thing that has to be remembered is, you know, when you're screaming at somebody, why don't you get a job? Well, okay, that's great. I would love to. But who's going to watch my stuff during the day? The little bit that I have left, who's going to watch that? Because somebody's going to steal it by the end of the day. And where do I take a shower every day so that I'm clean for work? Or where do I get clean clothes to make sure that I'm always pristine for my job? You have to think about these things before you start screaming at a homeless person to get a job or to go back to getting a good life. Because these are these little things and these little tiny things that people aren't thinking about when they're yelling at us to do something. We don't have as much of a voice as everyone else. So maybe this will give us a voice. Maybe this will help us. Because when you're yelling at us to get a better life or to get back up on our feet without your help, we can't. That's why we're out here begging for money. That's why we stand holding signs saying, please help me. Give me something to eat. Because I'm barely making it. I'm barely living. Because in an instant, somebody can come and take everything I've made. I can save $500 and be somewhere on the road to a better life, and somebody can come in one split second and take it away from me. And it's gone again. And that's happened to me so many times. I've gotten so close to being off the streets, and somebody came and took it away. So before you judge, think about that. Swallow your judgments and think about their story and ask what that is before you go and tell them what they need to do. And if you can help them get there, help them get there. Don't just leave them there to do it alone. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Are you okay with me using this on my YouTube channel?
I am okay with it, yes.
Okay, thank you for the interview. I really appreciate it.
You are welcome.
All right, Marina, just in case one of my subscribers wants to reach out to you and they have a job offer, a donation, or anything they want to offer to you, where can they find you at? Do you have any social media?
Yeah, I have a Facebook. It's Marina Marie. You'll see me in the picture standing next to my kids. I'm wearing a red shirt and my son on one side and my daughter on the other. It usually pops up right away. So that's my Facebook. You can use that.
All right, Marina. Thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Bye.